Okay, no, okay, so you get to look over your questions, but I don't get
No, this is the intro. This is not the questions, okay? This is the intro. I don't want to improperly introduce you. All right, here we go. All right, now we got it. Captain Timothy Childs is a private jet pilot with thousands of hours of flight under his belt. He's been all around the world, but he's here today with me in Athens, Georgia for a conversation about aviation. It's a pleasure.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. No, so let's start off simple. How did you become a pilot, and what do you love about aviation?
Honestly, it was an ad on Facebook. Really. An ad on Facebook got me into flying. I just had dead-end jobs, a bunch, and I went from place to place. And then finally on Facebook, there was just an advertisement for a local flight school on discovery flights. And I tried to take one with them. They didn't have any, so I went to ATP in Lawrenceville. They had some openings. So that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to go and do it. And then got in the air. He gave me the controls, and yeah, I caught it.
Was there anything about flying? Because there's been an ad for anything?
I've always been looking up. My mom was always telling me that I've been just looking up. I loved riding on airplanes. I loved watching airplanes fly. I was the type of that kid, like you go on an airline with your parents and at Atlanta, and there's an airliner going over, you gotta stop because I'm stopping. I'm just loving looking at it. So yeah, once I stepped foot in the plane, and no. I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like you got in and you just kind of knew.
Yeah, it's a bug. It's like an infection. Flying is it's an itch.
That's actually a great question. Compare it to something. What's the closest experience you can get to the feeling you get when you're flying an airplane?
Oh, man. Sunday cruise, Sunday, sunset, nice, easy cruise. It's just beautiful. And even though they suck, like if you take off just before sunrise, or you take off and you're going to be landing after sunset, those are the most beautiful flights.
That's so interesting, because I think, at least as someone who's never flown a plane, when I think about flying a plane, it feels very daunting, very technical. Like I'm thinking about all the things that's going to happen to get the plane off the ground, but you're like, no, it's just like riding a bike almost.
The first 100 hours, learning how to fly a plane, getting your private, going through your instrument, maybe starting commercial a little bit, it gets like that. Once you get to 1,000 hours or more, it's pretty much just hopping in a car, driving to work or something. It gets easier. Not to say it's not easy, but it is.
Can anybody do it, right?
Yeah, well, anybody can do it.
You think so?
Yeah, 95% of the American population could do it.
Is that because planes are so good now, or is it just a fundamentals? Like, compare it in difficulty-wise to driving a car, because like literally 9 out of 10 people can do that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same, honestly.
Really?
It's like flying a plane. The 5% that can, I've only ever seen 2 people that cannot fly a plane, and one of them was because we just couldn't get over his motion sickness. And that was literally it. And then the other factors, medical stuff, illnesses, medications, other that. But other than that, I truly believe everyone can learn how to fly a plane.
Really? Okay. So I read a study that between 25 and 40% of all U.S. adults experience aerophobia, the fear of flying. So my question is, if you're someone who's scared of flying, if you go on a commercial big 3 flight, I'm going to fly from here in Atlanta to New York on a Delta, United, something like that. What are the realistic chances of something bad happening?
Near zero. Near zero. I mean, something bad could happen. You could lose an engine. You could have a hydraulics failure, all this stuff. But, I mean, the plane's still going to fly.
Okay.
The plane's still going forward.
And that's the first thing I really want you to explain to me, right? So we're in a flight. We're 2 hours in. We get an engine failure. You're the pilot. How do you even know what happens? Just take me through it.
Well, if it's an engine failure, you're in a twin-engine airplane, first of all, the plane's going to go one way or the other. Like, you're going to feel a yawing, a moment going left. Like, for example, if we lose the left engine, we have thrust in the right engine. So you're going to feel the plane go this way. And then you're going to have a bunch of indications on your panel in front of you, and everything's going to go off. Some airplanes are even going to tell you what checklist to run, things like that. And every airplane is designed to fly on one engine. So basically, every airline is designed to fly on one.
So we'll just be going, everything's chilling, all of a sudden we're just going to take a weird left.
Depending on how fast you go, yeah. There's a whole different lot of physics, but yeah, if you're going slow, you'll feel a huge left.
What is slow? It's a plane.
200 knots,
Okay, and what's fast?
450.
And compare knots to miles. Or is that nautical miles?
550 miles an hour is fast.
And slow is like
230 miles, 250 miles an hour.
Gotcha. And would we turn more the faster we're going or the slower we're going?
Slower you're going.
Interesting.
Because inertia keeps the plane going. Plus, you got a big, huge fin, a rudder in the back that keeps you going straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom, we feel the left or the right turn. You get the indicators. Now what?
Now you just run a checklist. Someone flies, the other guy fixes. Tell ATC, hey, you've got an emergency. If you can, try to restart the engine. If you can't, like if you hear a loud bang, you hear rattling, vibrations, like you don't want to try to restart it, just shut it down.
How do you restart the engine? Is there like a...
There's a checklist. There's a checklist for everything.
Because I'm comparing it to a car, right? Where I just hit start and there's one engine and it goes on. When you start up a plane, do you start both engines separately?
Yes. One versus the other. You always start the critical engine first.
Which one's critical?
Usually it's the right one, but that's...
Is it because like most people are right-handed?
No, it's because of certain units, certain pieces of equipment that may be attached to that engine. In the early days when you had props and they both turned clockwise,
Okay.
there's something called P factor, and if you losing the left engine was better than losing the right engine because there'd be more torque on the plane trying to roll you over.
But they're the same engine.
Yeah, but they're both doing... It's physics. This is about aviation, right?
No, explain it to me. I want to understand. Like what... Because I'm hearing we got two of the same engine,
Yes.
yet somehow losing one is worse than the other. How?
Okay, so when you're flying, you're not flying straight and level. You're not.
You're not?
You're slightly pitched up.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
so when the prop comes down on this side, it's grabbing more air on the right side than it does coming up, just because of physics and the blade angle and everything.
even though they're symmetrical.
Yes, even though they're symmetrical.
Interesting.
So because of that, you actually have a yawing tendency to the left. And in single engine planes, like single pistons, 172s, Archers, Bonanzas, this happens every flight. On takeoff, you got to take off. You have to push right rudder to counteract the P factor.
So, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Is this kind of like when you get an alignment in your car because it naturally wants to turn a little bit to one direction?
Well, you can change the alignment in your car. You can't change it on the plane.
Because it's
It's just physics.
Because it's physics.
It's just
Okay.
physics at that point.
Interesting. Okay, so you're up in the air. We lose an engine. The plane can fly just fine with one.
Yes.
What would be something that would be an actual critical issue that might cause like an emergency landing?
Losing an engine.
Oh,
You
so they would still land the plane.
Yes.
But
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
have to.
Well, if you're going to Hawaii from LA,
Okay.
and you're right in the middle and you lose an engine, then you have two choices depending on where you're at. There's a point in your flight where it's quicker to, if you lose an engine, to turn around and go back to where you came from.
Sure.
Or if you're past that point, it's quicker just to keep
Just keep
going.
going.
So if you lose it,
Yeah.
you're going to slowly drift down altitude because you don't have the thrust to stay at whatever altitude you're at. But you have the fuel, you've got the power, you can, at a lower altitude, continue to
So the
fly.
plane will still fly, but because it loses half the amount of power pushing it up, it's more gliding at that point.
It'll glide down
Yeah.
to an altitude that the single engine can sustain.
Okay, so I'm learning. So the higher the altitude, the more power you need to sustain.
Yeah, to continue going
Is
forward.
that a gravity thing?
No, that's just a straight power thing because let's say you weigh 1 million pounds.
All right,
Right?
big guy.
So we have the four forces of flight. You have thrust, you have drag,
Okay,
you have lift, and then you have weight, not gravity.
weight.
You have weight because you can pull more than 1G in an aircraft.
Yes.
So when you're turning, you're actually pulling more than 1G.
All right.
So you need to have, if you say you weigh 1,000 pounds, your plane's 1,000 pounds, it's to say you're pulling 1.3 Gs, you have to produce 1,300 pounds of lift to maintain your altitude.
To counteract
Now,
the
when
weight.
you 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 have to produce more lift than you weigh in that instance. So when you're up at altitude, the way you produce lift is there's two ways. One, you can pitch up.
Yep.
Two, you can go faster. there's a certain it's called a critical angle, not a critical angle attack. It's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot to where like increasing angle attack will actually slow you down.
Interesting.
So if you don't have the power to maintain your speed at that altitude, you will not stay at that altitude. The plane will come down, and it's what is it called? It's an equilibrium. It's an equilibrium.
And it basically becomes impossible to keep that equilibrium when you're too high when you only have one engine.
Yes, because you don't have the power to maintain forward momentum.
So naturally,
to produce your lift.
The way physics work is you're just going to sink down until you have enough power to where the equilibrium meets again, basically.
We'll drift down.
Drift down.
we don't sink. There's no sinking. If it actually happened, you wouldn't even know.
I was going to say, would you even notice?
With how advanced the aircraft are on the airliners, like the fact that you lose an engine, there's a system that'll immediately put the rudder in, and you won't even feel it. And a lot of times in the sim, I hear from airliners. My plane doesn't do it, but some of the airline guys I've heard, you don't even know.
Right.
You don't even know you've lost an engine because it automatically kicks it in. Yeah.
So like, wow, that's fascinating. Okay, explain to me this, right? Let's talk tech in planes, right? How technologically advanced are airplanes?
Extremely.
Like
the new ones are.
The brand new, what's the newest plane?
Well, the Airbus,
Right.
and Praetors.
You get a brand new Airbus.
Those are flying computers.
Yeah, how much... Okay, I have two questions, actually. This is
Okay.
interesting. Okay, so in a brand new Airbus, like the Tesla of the skies or whatever, right? This thing's basically a giant computer, like you're saying.
Yeah.
How technical do you need to be to really understand these things? And two, how much work is the pilot even doing at that point? Is like, because in a brand new car, I mean, once you get it started, you kind of just throw on the autopilot
Yeah.
effectively, and you don't have to do much but make sure it doesn't crash.
That's pretty much what you do, actually.
Right.
As a pilot, when it comes to knowing exactly how every single system operates,
Yeah.
people really don't do that anymore. They focus more on you having knowledge of what you, as the pilot, can control in the cockpit. So my aircraft is a Challenger 350. It's
Okay.
recently new. It's like 5-7 years old.
Okay.
In that aircraft, the concept was if you can't control it, you don't need to know about it. So if I can't control...
Give me something you can't control so I understand.
See, that's the thing I don't know.
Give me something you can control.
The hydraulics.
Okay. so you need to know the hydraulics.
Yeah, you need to know the hydraulic system. You need to know how the APU works. You know how the engines work, how all that stuff works. The fire control system as well. But like, there are some things that like the computers and stuff you just can't control, and you don't need to know how to do it. There's buttons that you push and dials that you twist. But at the end of the day, if you have no control over it, then like automated systems.
Do you
stuff
think
like
that's
that.
leading to worse pilots?
No, I don't think that is leading to worse pilots. I think the use of autopilot is leading to worse pilots.
Because you're spending less time really flying the plane?
Yeah. We get a lot of airline guys, like retired airline guys, that struggle hand flying because my plane is not a computer. It's a pretty manual plane.
It's what people think of when they think of flying a plane.
Yeah. So because of that, it's not a learning curve, it's a relearning curve. They're having to go back 30 years before they had all the autopilots and stuff. But then there's still airliners like the 737s. I mean, they're pretty much still manual aircraft.
Is it kind of the difference between driving like an automatic and a stick?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's still the same concept, but it's like you got to go back to that.
Yeah, there's a little bit more you got to do, a little bit more buttons. You got to watch a little more stuff. The Airbus, it pretty much does everything for you. The Praetor does everything for you too.
Okay, if you wanted to teach me, someone who's never flown anything, how to fly an Airbus versus how to fly a Challenger, like what you're flying, how big a difference is that learning curve?
It's pretty much the same learning curve.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It also depends on, it'll be more work to learn how to fly the Airbus, just because it's an airline. It's 121. their training regime is a lot more stringent than my 135 is. So because of that, it's just a little bit more. Plus, it is a bigger airplane. It is more technologically advanced, so there's a lot more book learning that you got to do.
Right. Okay. This question might be super simple, might be technical. We're on day 32, government shutdown, and we have still got our air traffic controllers. But rumor has it that less of them are showing up. Have you seen any difference flying in the last 2 weeks or so?
Yes, extremely.
What is it like from the pilot perspective?
ATC gets aggravated very easily now.
What's ATC for everyone?
Air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
ATC air traffic controllers, they get very aggravated. I saw it twice on this last rotation. This last week I was out.
Give me an example of like they get annoyed.
There was a guy just not answering calls at all. And
you're like, hey, I'm trying to land.
Yeah, and this poor kid was just trying to enter the airspace, and he just is like, no, get out of my airspace. I don't want you here. You're not answering calls. You're not doing what I told you. And you know, in all fairness,
right.
Like you try to enter an airspace, you better play by their rules.
Right.
You know, and then at the same time, all the delays. Like when I was coming back home the other day, like I had to just fly from Nashville to Atlanta. It got delayed 3-4 hours.
Yeah, we were supposed to hang out the other day. Yeah. You were supposed to get in at like 5, and I call you at 9, and you're like, yeah, not here.
Yeah, not here at all.
No, it's interesting. Hopefully that all gets resolved soon, but it's just something I think about. Okay, what's one misconception people have about you or about pilots in general?
We have a ton of fun on the road.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that much fun on the road. You have a pretty strict schedule. You got to wake up early, and I mean, there's sometimes you can have a little bit of fun, like if you have a late show or something like that. For the most part, like we're going to the gym, we're dealing with personal stuff at home, paying bills. I pay a lot of my bills when I'm on the road, and then you just going to bed, getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
That way you're not, in the cockpit.
Yeah, that's one thing that I found really fascinating befriending you is like really learning like what the lifestyle is like. It's like you really, sometimes you're here and we'll hang out and you'll be like, oh, I'm around for 4 or 5 days, and sometimes you're just gone.
Yeah.
And is it difficult to balance like all the different time zones, not having that kind of stability that's provided by a standard 9 to 5?
Well, for me, the time zone differences really don't affect me. However, I am young. So when I get 40, 50, I might hit me a lot harder.
You're not going international too often too, right?
Not much, no.
Yeah.
Mostly I do is North America. I have been to Europe, I've been to Hawaii, but even when I do that, the time change isn't really that bad for me.
So when you start getting to like India, Asia, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
My problem is always just when am I going to get home? What time am I going to get home? And how many days do I have off?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have to like miss big events, holidays, that kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I missed Halloween.
I know. Worth it? In the long run, right?
Yeah, it always is. It is what it is. It's the lifestyle I chose. I had to come to terms with that. Like I thought I knew, and then it's how would I describe it? You see it, you hear about it, but you don't truly know it until you get into it, and then you gotta learn how to live with it.
Right.
It's like any job. You think the job is about this, but the job's actually about this. Right. Thankfully, flying airplanes, it's pretty simple. Everyone knows what flying airplanes is like. You just fly planes.
I think it's actually a great point. I have a couple of friends who are doctors, and they're like, oh, it's like you think being a doctor is all about treating people. It's mainly paperwork.
Yeah, paperwork, yeah. Exactly. You think owning a business is about just running numbers.
It's mainly
so
taxes.
much. Yeah, it's so much more than that. So.
No, that's good to know. Cool. All right. One more flight-specific question for you. If there's one thing you could change about the aviation industry, small or big, what would you change?
I would automate ATC a little bit more. I would, because we do have, like most of the advanced airliners now, they have what's called CPDLC, which I don't know the acronym because.
Well, what does it do?
Essentially, it's pretty much automated ATC. Like they'll send you a clearance through it. They can send you frequency transfers. It'll send you new routes and things like that through it. But smaller aircraft, like smaller private jets, we may not have that. Some of the newer models of my plane that my company's getting has it, but we don't use it to that degree.
Right.
We can get clearances, but I've never used it to automate like ATC and stuff like that.
Right.
Still got to make radio calls, still got a bunch of that stuff, but at the same time, I like being able to have to make calls and stuff, because I feel like if everything's automated, I get complacent.
Yeah.
That's the most dangerous thing in aviation, is just being complacent.
I think it's a really good point. Aviation's one of the few things where it's so fascinating to me, because most businesses, a 99% success, 1% failure rate is really, really great. Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm building microphones or T-shirts, if like 1 out of every 100 fucks up, we're fine. Aviation's about as close as you can get to where we need like a 99.99% success rate.
It's got to be 100%, you know, and there's a reason why they say the federal aviation regulations were written in blood. It's because, you know, we just started flying like just over 100 years ago, and you look at the level of safety now. You know,
I mean, it's unbelievable, really.
Unfortunately, a lot of accidents had to happen along the way for people to learn.
Right.
Like, hey, you can't do this. We can't do this. You can't fly a plane into icing, freezing rain, stuff like that. Right. Some planes can handle it. Some planes can't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like we've all had that moment where we're trying to get somewhere. We want to get on a flight. We have a long delay, and we're like, oh, this sucks. But it's like, you really want to chance it, bro?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'd much rather get there late and get there than the other way around. So I think I think aviation is one of the places where government regulation works at its best, and no one questions it. You know, as frustrating as it might be, I'd much rather there be too much aviation regulation than not enough. At least me.
Well, yeah, it's just regulations on like how to fly.
Right.
Thankfully, it's not regulations on how to build airplanes and stuff. Well, there are regulations about that, you know, but it's most of that, if you really think about it, it's just relaxed on how to build airplanes. Like, there's just standard safety regimes, but like how to actually fly planes, like there's a whole slew. It's a ton of book work.
Yeah.
Just to get through, and I hate reading. So the fact that I'm still doing this job and I'm having to read as much as I do, it's pretty worth it.
Shows the passion. All right, last question for you. When you're thousands of feet up in the air, what do you think about?
Think about what I'm going to go eat.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, most of the time when I'm flying, I try to find other aircraft that are like near us.
Do you like phone them?
No. I just look outside and I try to find them.
Oh, that's actually cool. I never thought about that.
Yeah, you when you're above 25,000 feet or something, it's called RVSM, which means like they could fly 1,000 feet above you and beneath you, and then they'll fly to your right, to your left, stuff like that. So, plus ever since I started flying till now, my worst ever thing is trying to find other aircraft during the day. During the day is the big part. I can't, for the life of me, see aircraft. I always either look too high, look too low, look too far left, look too far right. It's always the other guy that's always seeing it. Right. But at night, I can see an airport 100 miles away because of the beacon. I can just spot it. But at the end of the day, I've got TCAS. Thank God for that.
Okay, cool. Well, I learned a bunch today. I appreciate you. I'm trying to start a tradition on the podcast where I ask a guest, what's the type of guest that you want to see next or in the future? What's someone you would want to learn from?
Honestly, I'd like to see an ATC guy.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd like to see an ATC guy, and then if you get an ATC guy here, I want to be here.
Okay. You'll be like right off camera.
Yeah, I'll do the interview.
See, okay. If nothing else, you can help me with the question.
It's
always I will not
know
what to ask.
Yeah, because like I've only met one ATC guy, but he was like a former ATC like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it would be great to be able to like see who's on the other side of the microphone.
Yeah, if you're an air traffic controller and you watch this, email in the description below. Hit us up. Thanks so much, man. Any last words?
No, flying planes is safe. It's fun, and if you have always been wanting to do it, $100-$200 should be able to get you a discovery flight to see if it's what you want to do. I think it's a great alternative to going to college if you don't think you want to go to college.
Yeah. Dude, it's been a pleasure. I'm really glad we met. You're one of my best bros, and I really appreciate you being here, man.
No, thanks for having me, man.
For sure.
Finally get to see you again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good stuff.